Did you notice these 35 things in Harry Potter? Starting first with the Philosopher's Stone. During Harry and Hagrid's journey hidden to the leaky cauldron, if you look, you can see this black sign right there. But when Hagrid and Harry approached, if you can look closely, you'll notice that the sign became suddenly visible. During a scene where Harry was looking at his father's Quidditch badge, if you look more closely, you can also see Tom Riddle's trophy award for services to the school. This award was given to him when he framed Hagrid for being responsible for opening the Chamber of Secrets and unleashing Slytherin's basilisk. At the start of the ceremony, Harry looked at Snape and his car began to hurt, and that's because he was staring directly at Voldemort's face on the back of Quirrell's head. Neville and his grandma were there in the first movie together. It was exactly in this scene when Harry got onto the platform 9 3/4. If you can look closely, you can notice Neville and his grandma beside the Hogwarts Express. This one is really hard to be noticed, but it was a nice touch. Ron having a dirt on his nose is just because the Weasley family used the Flow network to travel from place to place. The Dursleys have the exact model of car and house as their three neighbors. I'm sure that was an unintentional detail meant to further confirm how much the Dursleys want to blend in and be normal like everyone else. Professor Quirrell was supposed to be bald. As we've seen at the end of the movie, he carried Voldemort on the back of his head. But in this scene over here, we can briefly see Quirrell's hair under his turban. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a like and subscribe if you feel like it. Thanks, now let's continue. Moving on to the Chamber of Secrets. In this scene, we can see the exact moment when Ginny received Tom Riddle's diary. Lucius pulled one book from Ginny's cauldron, and then he placed back the book and also a new one, which was Tom Riddle's diary. If you look to the left of the screen, when Harry and Ron confront Lockhart, you can catch a luxurious blonde wig sitting on display on Lockhart's desk. When Harry and Ron was blocked from entering the platform 9 3/4 by Dobby, you can notice that Ron's trunk changed completely. In this scene, it seems he has 3 lines around it, but suddenly in the next scene, he only has 2. Moving on to the Prisoner of Azkaban. Inside the leaky cauldron, we can see a wizard reading a book, but it wasn't any other book. A Brief History of Time by Stephen Hawking, showing that Stephen's book was so amazing that also wizard did enjoy it. This guy here in the leaky cauldron made this bottle disappear completely. While Fred and George were giving Harry the Marauders map, Newt Scamander's name appeared in the scene. Now the reason why he's there is completely unknown, but it was a nice small detail made by the director. The reason why the leaky cauldron was also so dirty is because the broom kept sweeping the dirt under the rugs, not cleaning anything at all. When Malfoy was attacked by Buckbeak, he claimed the injury was so dire. You can clearly see Malfoy hit Neville with the arm that Buckbeak injured, proving that his arm wasn't injured in the first place. During the end credits of The Prisoner of Azkaban, we can see 2 pairs of feet facing each other and not moving. It basically looks like 2 people who may be making out in a quiet corner. The Marauders died in the order of the way they are listed on the map: James, Sirius, Peter, and Lupin. Many keep asking why Professor Lupin was in the Hogwarts Express and was so exhausted. The reason is because there was a full moon the night before. Moving on to the Goblet of Fire. In this scene, during the Quidditch World Cup, you can probably see Dobby there, and beside him there was another house elf. This could be Winky herself, given that she was present in that location in the book. Have you ever paid any attention to the 3-dimension Deathly Hallows object in Dumbledore's office? We'll get to know the Deathly Hallows after 3 movies, yet still they were revealed way back in Goblet of Fire. The end credits of Goblet of Fire featured the magical disclaimer: no dragons were harmed in the making of this movie. During the second task of the Trials of the Tournament, when Harry came out of the water freezing cold, Hermione came to Harry. She took off her white towel and gave it to Harry, and she remained with a dark grey one. But 2 seconds later, when Dumbledore arrived, she got her white towel back, and again she's putting the white towel on Harry's back, which was really confusing. You can go back and watch this scene in the movie yourself to notice this mistake. Moving on to the Order of Phoenix. The Weasley family was well known for being poor throughout the series. During one of Dumbledore's army meeting, all the girls are wearing skirts, except Ginny, who is wearing pants. Considering having 6 older brothers, probably it's a hand-me-down. Sirius Black's vault number in Gringotts is 711, but this is also the number of the page on which Sirius died in the UK edition of Order of Phoenix book. Moving on to the Half-Blood Prince. In this scene in the orphanage, we can see Tom Riddle putting 7 pieces of rocks in the window. Although he at that point knew nothing about Horcruxes or splitting his soul into 7 pieces, he showed his affection to the number 7 from a young age. Here we can also see a picture of a cave. The cave that Tom Riddle was brought to on holiday with his orphanage. He discovered this cave and terrorized 2 fellow orphans. This place never left his memory, thus he later returned and hid one of his Horcruxes there. When Harry was staying in the burrow, in a moment he was sitting next to Ginny. There was an orange blanket on his right side, but just when the camera switched sides, the blanket moved to be placed behind Harry. Bellatrix was sent to Azkaban, and as we all know, her wand gets snapped. However, in the Half-Blood Prince, she appeared having her same old wand. Moving on to the Deathly Hallows, Parts 1 and 2. During the Battle of Hogwarts, giants were using something that looks like a ring as a weapon. If you can take a guess what the giant holding is the goal post of the Quidditch pitch. Also in the battle, the guy who was leading students using broomsticks to the war was Oliver Wood, coming back to Hogwarts to fight and defend his school. When the main characters were heading out to fight the Death Eaters, Slughorn can barely be seen in the background of the scene, taking a drink from a bottle. Of course it has to be nothing but the liquid luck. When McGonagall was dueling Snape, he blocked her spells without firing a single one in return. Snape deflected one of her spells to the Carrow's Death Eaters, and even managed to take their wands from them before fleeing away from the castle. Harry and Neville in the Battle of Hogwarts were wearing the same clothes their father wore back in the days during the First Wizarding War. When Voldemort realized that the wand was not working for him, Snape then showed up when asked. If you look closely, you can see a Gryffindor scarf hanging in the background. Now this proves that although Snape was Slytherin, he had one of the Gryffindor colors, bravery. When Hagrid was explaining to Harry how his parents died, we can clearly see that Lily was wearing a purple sweater. However, when jumping to the Deathly Hallows Part 2, we can see that Lily was wearing something blue before she died. And even in this shot, it becomes very obvious that Lily is now wearing a blue sweater instead of purple. Draco Malfoy's wife, Astoria Greengrass, was actually played by Tom Felton's then girlfriend, Olivia Jade. One last detail as bonus, Harry seemed to take his finals only every other year. He took them in the first year. Dumbledore cancelled finals for the whole school in his second year. He took them in his third year. He was exempt from finals as a Triwizard Champion in his fourth year. He took OWLs in his fifth year. And in his sixth year, all examinations are postponed. If you want to watch every single Harry Potter deleted scene combined, click on this video over here. Thanks for watching and I'll see you soon.